All right, so welcome to another video. Today we're going to take a look at Facebook. I'm going to give you some thoughts on, is it starting to base and stabilize, and kind of just let's take a look at the charts. I'll give you some perspective on that. Keep in mind, none of these are recommendations to buy, sell, or trade anything, just my own personal opinion. If you want to grab my opinion, definitely check out the Traders Fly website where we have live classes and a lot of stuff going on over there. You can also check out the Discord channel as well. If you're kind of brand new, that'll be linked in the description below. All right, so let's kick things off and let's get going on Facebook. We're going to go ahead and pull it up. It's been a little while since I did a review and recap on Facebook. So if we look at kind of just overall the daily and the weekly chart of Facebook, so you can see Facebook has had some trouble. We got into, about 375, almost 400. The stock started to sell off, and we had this major bearish selling pressure right here, right after earnings. Fortunately for the stock, it stabilized right around 200, really about 185, 182, around that level, came to the lows and started to bounce. So the question is are we going to be able to hold this price level? So that's a little bit of some thought that's going through my head, and I wonder, are we going to go like somewhere up here and then kind of reject it back to retest lower levels? I think if you start looking at just kind of what's happening with the price action, you're starting to see a nice base around this 200 and a little bit lower right here. We're getting some support level. You're also seeing some bullish volume here coming in. So that's also a nice thing, creating some of this rounding base. This is usually a good spot, and I always look at these as kind of nibbling opportunities. Right now, we're also seeing this break across a moving average. 21 EMA is starting to also break here. And that's also not a nice positive sign. If you kind of look at a lot of a mess of technicals here, and I'll show you a bunch of the lines that I have, you can see the 10, 21, 34. You can see we're starting to break some of these moving averages. We're getting some crossovers that's starting to happen, and that's usually a positive note. Now we're still kind of trending on this downward slope. Like if you just look at the moving averages here, and we start looking at it this way, we're still kind of trending in this downward slope. But once this starts rotating right here, that would be a really nice sign. So just to show you here, this 10 moving average, it was heading lower, and now we're starting to base here, kind of this sideways area. So this is usually a nice positive thing when you start seeing something like that. And when you're starting to see like a crossover as well, here's downward, sideways. When you're starting to see that crossover, that's also a nice healthy move. So I'm looking at this and saying, hey, this could be a nice opportunity to start buying and getting into the stock. I was nibbling already, like kind of in this zone in the stock. The earnings are coming up soon, so you do have to kind of watch out for earnings being around the corner. We're starting to get into those zones with a lot of stocks as well. So just keep your eyes peeled for something like that. But as for getting into this gap areas, like once we get into this 250 zone, that'll be a bit of resistance. But what we do have is between 250 and 300, we have a nice range of empty space where the stock could really move quite well. And if we get back into that gap, I think it could start taking off really nicely. Again, earnings are right around the corner, so this is something to watch out for and definitely keep your eyes peeled for, because that could move the stock quite a bit, just like it did in the past. Normally, if you're not trading through earnings all the time, then I would stay away from earnings. But note that the stock is starting to kind of create this rounding bottom. We're starting to pick up some bullish volume here as well. So all these are starting to be some good clues and good signs. You're starting to see some crossovers, and all that's starting to be a little more positive. You're also starting to see some movement here on the SPY that's been quite well. My only thought is, are we a little bit extended here on this upside? So I think we'll get some sideways chop here for a little bit to digest some of this upward move. But beyond that, stocks have been a little more stable since all this choppiness that we've had here recently. So anyways, those are kind of my thoughts here on Facebook. I think we definitely have some potential here to run even further. But with that earnings here around the corner, you do have to watch out for that. But it's starting to base around that 200 level, and now we're at 230. So we're a little bit off of that and a little bit higher, but it's okay. You don't have to worry about, saying, hey, you already missed a move at 200, because you'll never get it at the lowest price. But if we can get back into 350, even 400, That would be fantastic from where it is now. I mean, that would be a huge gain of, let's just say we get back into about 350. That's almost a 50% gain from where you're at. So still fantastic. And from a run of that, that's about a 118-point run. So anyways, watch out. This one's doing well. It's starting to turn around. I would just be careful that maybe we will get a rejection slightly soon just because we had a lot of green days. You might come back to retest some levels, and then you could see it going higher. And that's where we can maybe create something like a to B, B to C, C to D pattern there to be able to continue the run further. So anyways, those are my thoughts. Hope you check out the other things that we have on our website, on the TradersFly site. There's a lot of freebies. Join the Discord channel and check out the live classes that we have coming up as well. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.